But in a story like Conclave, the antagonist is not immediately obvious. And that's because, morally speaking, none of the characters are purely white and none are purely black, right? Like if you think about the old Westerns and the white hats and the black hats, audiences could visibly spot the villain like the second he walked onto the screen because he was wearing a black hat. It was pretty obvious. Now, in Conclave, the characters are neither black nor white, morally speaking. They are many shades of gray. And that is the secret to Conclave's success. That is what makes this story so interesting and what makes these characters so fascinating to watch. Because they are shades of gray, that means that there are many characters who are antagonistic to Dean Lawrence, who is our protagonist. Now, the most direct antagonist to Lawrence is Tremblay. However, since Lawrence is responsible for running the conclave and for making sure that the best candidate is chosen as the next pope, Tedesco and Adeyemi are also antagonistic to Lawrence. Okay, are you with me so far? To make things more complicated, there are times in the film when, at the scene level at least, Bellini, who is Lawrence's ally, is also an antagonist. All right, this might get a little complicated to explain on a podcast, but listen, I'm going to do my best here. I kind of wish I had a flip chart and I could just draw this out. It might be easier, but I don't. All right, let's look at Cardinal Tremblay first, because he is the most direct antagonist to Dean Lawrence. And Tremblay is played by John Lithgow. There's a scene just past the midpoint of the film at about an hour and 9 minutes in, where Lawrence, Bellini, and Sabaudin are in an empty staircase, and it's late at night, and they're discussing election strategy. They had all wanted Bellini to win, and Bellini is the Stanley Tucci character. But at this point in the movie, it's clear that Bellini's chances of winning are remote. None of them want Tedesco to win. He is the front runner, but they don't like him. So eventually they decide that if Bellini cannot win, they're going to put their support behind Tremblay. Now, they don't really like Tremblay, but he is the least worst option here. He is better than Tedesco as the next pope. So in this scene, in the staircase, Bellini is the one who delivers the speech in praise of the villain or the antagonist, who is Tremblay. Here is what, and there's a little bit of dialogue here between Bellini and Sabaudin. So here is what they say. Bellini speaks first. He says, "If I can't win, whom do I advise my supporters to vote for? Thomas, I am no more an enthusiast for Tremblay than you are, but we have to face the fact that he has demonstrated broad appeal. Maybe he'll be a unifying force. The field has narrowed. If we don't change our vote, we'll be here for weeks, and that is exactly what Tedesco wants." Sabaudin then says, "We've had a pope who was in the Hitler Youth and fought for the Nazis. We've had popes accused of colluding with communists and fascists. We've had popes who have ignored reports of most appalling sexual abuse of children. The point is, we will never find a candidate who doesn't have any kind of black mark against them. We're moral men. We serve an ideal. We cannot always be ideal." And then Bellini replies, "Then we're agreed. We urge all our supporters to back Tremblay." Now, a little aside there, if you just take what Sabaudin said, that's the whole shades of gray, nuanced character thing that I was talking about a minute ago. He said, we'll never find a candidate who doesn't have any kind of black mark against them, right? Everyone is sort of in that gray zone. We're moral men. We serve an ideal. We cannot always be ideal.